Hi, Taurus Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs. Welcome to Eternal Mindfulness. Let me ask you something right away. What if I told you that you're standing at the doorway of a transformation so powerful, your entire path could change? Starting today? This isn't just another horoscope video. This is a divine appointment. A message meant to find you now, not yesterday, not tomorrow, but right here, right now. If you're here, it's because your energy is aligned with this exact moment in time. There's something inside you that's shifting. A whisper from the universe, a stirring in your soul, telling you that you are ready for more clarity, more love, more purpose. I want to welcome you into this sacred space where astrology meets soul evolution. This isn't about vague predictions or fleeting fortune. This is about remembering your power, realigning with your truth, and stepping into the version of you that you were always destined to become. And Taurus, I feel this deeply. You've been through something lately. You've been patient. You've been strong. You've been holding space for others while carrying your own silent battles. And now, it's your time. You're entering a cycle of rebirth. A goddess, or god, within you is awakening. This is not just a metaphor. This is a vibration. You are shedding layers. You are reclaiming your softness without surrendering your strength. You are remembering what it feels like to trust yourself again. Can you feel it? The energy is different. The world is responding to your inner shift. So I want to invite you to pause, breathe deeply, and ask yourself, what brought me here today? What did I need to hear that my soul guided me to this very moment? And if you're already feeling something stir in your chest, that spark, that resonance, I encourage you to leave a comment below with the angel number that's been following you lately. 111, 444, 777. Whatever number your spirit keeps seeing, that's not random. That's alignment. That's a message just for you. Let me also take a moment to say thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for choosing this space. Every like, every comment, every subscription you offer connects you even deeper to this growing soul family we're building here at Eternal Mindfulness. And I mean this from my heart. Your presence is the reason this channel keeps evolving, keeps glowing, and keeps delivering these soul-aligned messages. You are not just a viewer, you are a co-creator of this sacred space. And trust me, Taurus, you'll want to stay with me until the very end of today's message. Because what the universe is revealing for you now? It's beyond magical, it's divine timing, it's cosmic confirmation, it's exactly what you didn't know you were waiting for. So let me ask you again. What have you done lately that attracted this message into your life? Stick around, and let's find out together. Something subtle yet unmistakable has begun to unfold within you, Taurus, like the hush before dawn, or the quiet rhythm of a seed cracking open beneath the soil. It isn't loud, but it's profound. This shift, this inner unfolding, is the sacred whisper of rebirth, not in the way we typically imagine, but as a quiet return to who you've always been, only freer, softer, and far more powerful. When we speak of rebirth in this moment of your journey, we're not pointing to dramatic changes or grand gestures. We're honoring the kind of transformation that happens in silence, when the heart has endured, the body has listened, and the soul is finally ready to exhale. You are not becoming someone else. You are returning to your essence, but without the old weight you once carried. The past did not break you. It refined you. And now, with every breath, you're stepping into a version of yourself that feels less like effort, and more like truth. The Empress in Tarot is the perfect mirror for this energy. She doesn't chase. She doesn't force. She doesn't try to prove her worth. She knows that everything comes in perfect time when we align with our own natural rhythm. And that's what's happening in your life now. You're learning that growth does not have to be loud, or visible, or linear. It can be as gentle as rest, as healing as stillness, as sacred as choosing peace over proving a point. And yet, this Empress energy isn't only about stillness, it's about creation. You are carrying new life, Taurus. Maybe not literally, but symbolically, a new idea, a renewed vision, a reclaimed part of your joy. You're no longer giving from an empty well. You're letting yourself fill up first, understanding now that real generosity must begin within. That's what rebirth means here, letting your inner garden thrive so that whatever blossoms next is rooted in nourishment, not depletion. Venus, your planetary ruler, has been softly guiding this shift. She governs beauty, value, and self-worth, and right now, she is helping you realign with what feels real. What feels honest. What feels like home in your body. You might notice yourself being drawn to simplicity, to softness, to relationships and surroundings that don't drain you but instead feel like a gentle exhale. This is a sign. The rebirth isn't just about stepping into power, it's about finding power in being at ease. And in the language of numbers, we see the gentle hum of divine rhythm echoing through this transition. The number 3, often tied to the Empress, represents creation, expression, and joy. It invites you to remember your voice, your dreams, your power to shape reality. And the number 6 brings balance, harmony, and a return to the heart. Together, these energies are showing up to say, you are safe to bloom. You are safe to evolve in your own way, at your own pace, without needing to compare or justify. Like a flower that doesn't question the sun, you are being asked to trust the warmth that's finding you now, not to rush, not to explain, but simply to receive. And perhaps the most beautiful truth in all of this is that you don't have to earn it. You've already earned it through every quiet moment of endurance, through every small act of kindness you gave when no one was looking, through every time you chose not to give up. There's a teaching, passed through generations, that the greatest awakening doesn't arrive in thunder or fire. It arises like dew on grass, quietly, effortlessly, only visible to those willing to slow down enough to notice. This is that kind of moment for you, Taurus. So take your time. Breathe deeper. Soften your shoulders. Because what's being born through you now is nothing short of sacred. There's something deeply powerful about the moment you realize you don't need to prove your worth to be worthy. After the gentle awakening of rebirth, Taurus, you're now being called to nurture that new version of yourself with intention, not through striving or pushing, but through restoration. You've spent so long pouring yourself into others, into relationships, into responsibilities, into unspoken expectations. And while that giving came from a place of love, it often left your own cup dry. Now, the energy is shifting. You're learning what it means to give from fullness, not depletion. To offer love not as a transaction, but as an overflow of your own well-being. This is not selfish, it's sacred. It's a return to balance. Imagine your inner world as a vessel, a quiet bowl of still water. When it's full, it reflects light beautifully, it nourishes. But when it's empty or disturbed, it cannot offer anything clear or meaningful. You are learning to protect that stillness again. The Knight of Cups in Tarot mirrors this moment perfectly. He moves not with haste, but with intention. He offers love, yes, but only after tending to his own emotional truth. This card isn't about grand romantic gestures, it's about authenticity. It reminds you that healing is not loud, and love is not meant to be earned through exhaustion. Real love, for yourself and others, flows best when it's not forced. When it arises naturally from a heart that has chosen gentleness over proving, presence over performance. And in this space, something else becomes clear: you have the right to pause. The right to say no. The right to protect your peace without having to justify it. Silence is not avoidance, it can be a sanctuary. Choosing to care for yourself, to rest, to reset, to say, "This is enough for now," is not weakness. It's wisdom. There's an old saying that goes something like, "The wise do not cling, nor do they reject." You are learning to rest in that space in between, to hold what comes with openness, and release what drains you with grace. This is where the law of attraction begins to hum a little louder in your energy field. Because when you stop chasing, you begin attracting. When you tend to your own inner garden, when you treat your own joy, peace, and needs with respect, you become magnetic. Opportunities, people, and experiences begin to orbit you not because you demanded them, but because you created a frequency they want to join. In this state of calm magnetism, even your surroundings start to reflect your inner change. You may feel drawn to colors that soothe you, soft shades of turquoise or blush pink, colors that speak of healing, gentleness, and renewal. These hues are not just aesthetically pleasing, they carry energetic vibrations that support the emotional shift you're undergoing. They remind you that it's safe to soften. That it's powerful to care for yourself as you would someone you deeply love. There's also a quiet truth arising here: self-respect does not require explanation. When you begin to prioritize your own emotional boundaries, you will not always be understood. But you will be free. And in that freedom, you will discover a more sustainable kind of love, one that does not burn you out, but lights you up. So let this be your practice for now, to tend to your cup with patience, to allow rest without guilt, and to remember that your worth was never meant to be proven through sacrifice. You are not here to pour endlessly. You are here to shine, to receive, and to choose what feels kind to your spirit. From that space, everything else will find you. Not because you chased it, but because you finally made room. Sometimes, after filling your own cup and remembering how it feels to be whole, there comes a quiet sense of readiness. It doesn't always feel like a surge of motivation. Sometimes it's just a soft but steady knowing, it's time. That's the space you're in now, Taurus. A threshold moment. One where your dreams and your desires are no longer distant stars but lanterns within reach. And the only thing left between you and them is a single step. The energy around you now is potent with possibility. The presence of both the Ace of Wands and the Ace of Pentacles in your current alignment tells a powerful story, one of inspiration and real-world opportunity walking hand in hand. One spark lights your heart, the other lays the groundwork for something lasting. This is a rare combination. It suggests that what you're envisioning, whether it's a creative endeavor, a meaningful relationship, or a long-awaited shift in your professional path, has both the fire to ignite and the earth to sustain. But for any of it to unfold, it needs one more ingredient: your willingness to act. Astrologically, this is deeply aligned with what Jupiter, the planet of expansion and blessings, is doing in your chart. If it's moving through your second or fifth house right now, that means it's lighting up areas connected to self-worth, financial flow, creativity, and romance. Jupiter doesn't just offer abundance, it expands what already exists. So if you've been nurturing an idea in the background, or quietly wishing for a deeper connection with someone, now is the time to stop waiting for a sign, and start being the signal. And here's where we return to the wisdom of your body, your intuition. You don't have to have all the answers. You don't need a perfectly laid out plan. You just need the courage to trust what feels alive within you. Because desire, when it comes from a place of inner balance, is not a distraction, it's direction. It's your internal compass quietly guiding you toward alignment. There's an old teaching that says the moment of action is not when everything is ready, but when you are. You don't have to wait for the perfect timing, the perfect confidence, or the perfect script. Begin now, with what you have. Let your movement be a prayer. Let your intention be enough. And when hesitation creeps in, as it inevitably will, remind yourself that progress does not require perfection. Growth lives in the doing, not the doubting. Your dreams are not asking you to be fearless. They're asking you to be brave for just one more step. One decision. One message sent. One idea sketched. One moment of showing up, even when it's messy. Especially when it's messy. In numerology, this moment vibrates with the essence of the numbers 1, 8, and 11. The number 1 is the pioneer. It invites you to lead, to start fresh, to initiate without needing permission. The number 8 is the architect of abundance. It supports success, structure, and the kind of prosperity that endures. And the number 11 is the channel. It opens the door to intuitive insight, divine timing, and deeper vision. These energies aren't floating above you, they are moving through you. You are not waiting on the universe is responding to you. What you're feeling now, that whisper to take a risk, to say yes, to go for it, is not irrational. It is wise. There's a kind of wisdom that lives beyond logic. It knows when it's time to move before the path is fully lit. And when you follow that inner pull with faith, you don't walk into chaos, you walk into coherence. So trust your sense of timing. Trust your own readiness. The doors in front of you aren't just opening. Some of them were never locked to begin with. Not every chapter in our story is meant to last forever, and you're beginning to understand that some pages must be turned, not with bitterness, but with clarity. As you've been stepping more fully into your power, Taurus, there's a natural shift occurring in how you allow your energy to be exchanged. What once felt tolerable now feels heavy. What you once excused, you now see more clearly. This isn't about becoming cold or rigid, it's about becoming clear. When you've done the inner work to heal and reconnect with your purpose, your standards shift. And that's exactly what's happening. You're no longer available for relationships, environments, or beliefs that require you to shrink in order to belong. There's a quiet but firm boundary rising within you now, one built not from resentment, but from self-respect. The kind of boundary that doesn't shout, but holds its ground with steady grace. The King of Swords energy reflects this moment perfectly. He isn't ruled by reactivity or emotion, he sees through illusion and leads from truth. In this context, he reminds you that creating distance doesn't make you unkind, it makes you discerning. And that discernment, when guided by wisdom, becomes the doorway to real peace. Saying no is not rejection, it's direction. It's you honoring the sacred space of your energy, your time, your mind. What may be surfacing now are signs that a cycle is naturally coming to completion. Maybe a job that once gave you purpose now feels constricting. Maybe a connection that once felt alive now drifts in silence or tension. Maybe you're seeing where you've outgrown expectations that no longer serve the person you're becoming. This is not failure. This is transition. And letting go is not a loss, it's a realignment. Astrologically, the influence of Saturn is especially present during times like these. Often misunderstood as harsh or limiting, Saturn is actually a profound teacher. It doesn't bring restriction to punish, it brings structure to help us build something lasting. When Saturn activates a part of your chart, it asks, what's real? What's worth the effort? What needs to be dismantled to make space for growth? And most of all, are you willing to take responsibility for your boundaries? In some teachings, there's a simple yet powerful principle, that liberation doesn't come from escaping the world, but from understanding how to engage with it skillfully. This includes knowing when to lean in and when to step away. It means recognizing that peace isn't the absence of challenge, it's the presence of alignment. When your inner truth no longer matches your outer world, discomfort arises. That's not something to avoid. That's a signal. A call for you to adjust, to realign, to release with grace. You might notice that as you begin to clear space, something curious happens. Your energy lightens. Your thoughts settle. Your focus sharpens. That's no accident. In the language of the law of attraction, this is energetic hygiene. The moment you release what drains you, you begin creating a vacuum, and the universe rushes to fill it with something better. But you must choose to make room. You must trust that releasing what is familiar but no longer fulfilling is not abandonment, it's preparation. What you are doing now is claiming your life as your own. You are acknowledging that your needs matter. Your time matters. Your peace matters. And in that acknowledgement, you unlock a deeper truth. Boundaries are not walls, they are bridges. They connect you to the life you truly desire by filtering out what no longer fits. This is the quiet revolution of your season, Taurus, the firm, clear, and compassionate act of letting go. There's a moment, often quiet and unexpected, when someone looks at you and truly sees you, not the version you perform, not the mask you wear for protection, but the essence that lingers behind your eyes. Taurus, that moment may be arriving for you now. After all the growth you've moved through, after reclaiming your space, after learning how to let go without closing your heart, you're beginning to radiate a kind of beauty that isn't loud, but undeniable. And someone is noticing. This energy, tender, magnetic, intimate, isn't about whirlwind romance or fantasy. It's about real recognition. The kind that comes from resonance, where two energies hum in the same quiet frequency. The presence of the Two of Cups, the Knight of Cups, and the Ace of Cups in your field tells a story of emotional clarity. It points to an exchange that begins with vulnerability and is met with depth, not distance. A heart reaching out, and another heart softening in response. This is connection without pretense, the most honest kind. Astrologically, these stirrings often arise when your 7th or 8th house is activated, spaces in your chart that speak to commitment, trust, and the merging of emotional truths. These houses don't deal with surface-level affection. They deal with what's real, the hard conversations, the steady presence, the kind of bond that helps you evolve simply by existing within it. If you're noticing new connections entering your life or current ones deepening in tone and meaning, take this as a signal. Your energy is drawing in what it's now aligned with, not what it used to tolerate. There's something subtle but vital here. The kind of love you're attracting now isn't meant to complete you. It meets you where you already feel whole. You've done the inner work. You've sat with your silence. You've reclaimed the pieces of yourself that used to be given away too easily. And now, you're loving without losing. You're giving without erasing. That's powerful. It takes maturity to remain soft. To allow closeness without collapsing into someone else's story. To hold your shape even as you open your hands. That's the balance you're mastering now, and it's exactly what makes you irresistible. In truth, what draws people to you isn't just your outer presence. It's the way you make others feel safe enough to be themselves. The way you offer warmth, but never demand. The way you hold eye contact, but never try to control the narrative. In number language, the vibration of 222 is walking beside you now, a symbol of harmony, mirrored souls, and sacred timing. It reminds you that not all things need to be chased. Some simply appear when you're ready to receive. And it's not always the grand gestures that announce true love. Sometimes, it's a glance that holds your gaze a second too long. A message that arrives exactly when you were about to give up. A conversation that makes you feel more like yourself than you expected. Trust those quiet signs. You may find yourself drawn to softer tones these days. Rose quartz pink, milky white, the gentle green of new leaves. These colors carry the frequency of healing and heart expansion. They don't scream for attention, they invite you inward. Surrounding yourself with these energies can gently remind you of the kind of love you deserve, the kind that feels like an exhale, not a performance. If you're already in a relationship, this energy may deepen your bond, inviting more authenticity and emotional clarity. If you're single, this is not a prompt to rush, it's an invitation to remain open, to believe again, and to continue showing up as yourself, knowing that someone somewhere is already drawn to that exact vibration. Real love doesn't arrive to fix you. It arrives to walk beside you, with curiosity, with presence, and with reverence for all that you've become. So keep your heart open, not wide and exposed, but wise and warm. The right energy won't demand you to dim. It will fall in love with the light you've spent so long learning how to hold. And so, Taurus, here we are, standing at the edge of this sacred transmission, where everything you've heard isn't just information, but gentle guidance meant to land in the softest part of your spirit. If you've stayed with me until this moment, you already know this wasn't just a horoscope reading. It was a remembering. A returning. A reconnection to the version of you that knows how to listen deeply, feel fully, and move forward with quiet confidence. You've walked with me through the phases of your journey, from the quiet emergence of a reborn self, to the powerful act of learning how to fill your own cup first. You've explored the courage it takes to say yes to your dreams, to say no to what no longer aligns, and to say, I am ready, to the kind of love that meets you, not changes you. And now you are being invited to integrate it all. To take what resonated and gently put it into motion, not with pressure, but with purpose. There is a kind of wisdom that doesn't require a map. It only asks that you trust the direction your heart is leaning toward. That you pay attention to what stirs you, not just what's familiar. So let me ask you, what is one small thing you could begin today that aligns with the future you want to build? What conversation have you been avoiding that might bring peace if you spoke from your truth? What boundary have you been quietly holding back that deserves to be honored? What dream have you set aside, waiting for the right time, when perhaps the time is now? You don't need permission to evolve. You don't need to wait for the perfect signs or perfect conditions. Growth is already happening, and transformation doesn't need to look dramatic to be real. Sometimes it's as simple as choosing yourself, gently, consistently, and with intention. Remember this, the same stars that illuminate the night sky are the same ones that guided sailors across vast oceans. And they are guiding you too, in their own quiet way. Every intuitive nudge, every synchronicity, every moment that feels like more than coincidence, they're all part of your unfolding. You are not walking alone, and you never have been. So, Taurus, what's the one message from today's reading that feels like it was meant just for you? I would love to know. Take a moment to comment below and share the angel number that's been following you lately. Maybe it's 222, 444, or even 1111. Your words matter here. They help anchor this energy not just for yourself, but for others reading and resonating alongside you. And if this message touched something inside you, please consider liking this video, subscribing to the Eternal Mindfulness channel, and sharing it with someone who may need to hear these words today. Every time you engage, you help this sacred space grow, and you help bring more light into a world that desperately needs it. Let me leave you with this: you are not behind. You are not too late. You are exactly where you're meant to be. The clarity is coming. The alignment is unfolding. And your light? It's more than enough. Thank you for being here. Thank you for choosing to listen, to reflect, and to remember. And until next time, walk gently, stay open, and trust. The universe is already responding to the new version of you.